much for joining my podcast series, which is about formidable females in future flight. I'm meeting with exceptional females working within the future of aviation and aerospace to help inspire more women to consider this sector for their own careers. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Kirsty Boyd, who's an aerospace engineer with Vertical Aerospace. Vertical is one of the world's leading air taxi pioneers and also a very cherished client to us. Kirsty, it's great to see you. How are you today?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm really, really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. And thank you again for making time. I really appreciate your involvement. Just in case anybody in our audience doesn't know Vertical, could you tell me a little bit about the business? How did it come to be and what's your mission?
Yeah, of course. So Vertical was founded by our green tech entrepreneur, Stephen Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we believe in the power of electric aircraft to change the way that the world travels. So we're combining the very best technologies and approaches from aerospace, Formula One, automotive, to develop cutting-edge aircraft. We've already flown to full-scale, all-electric, vertical takeoff and landing prototypes with approval from the UK Civil Aviation Authority. And our piloted VX4, which will be capable of travelling about 120 miles at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, carrying 4 passengers. The VX4 will be certified through the CAA and EASA, hopefully by the end of 2024, with initial commercial operations, I guess, starting shortly after that.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for that introduction to the business. And I'd really love to learn a little bit more now about you and your background. Could you tell me what inspired you to pursue this career?
I mean, I think I've loved aviation for about as long as I can remember. I grew up on the east coast of Scotland, and there was an operational low-flying area near my house for the fast jets. And I remember being inside watching the telly, I don't know, age 6 or 7. And I could hear them coming from miles away, and I would run really, really fast out of the house, immediately clamber onto the nearest picnic table or piece of furniture that I could find, just so I could be 3 inches closer to watching them flying over. I remember waving my hands in the air as if by some sort of strange situation I could touch them. In hindsight, it's so silly and also super not sensible. I guess I was always just convinced that flying was some sort of magic. I'm probably still a little convinced of that, if I'm honest.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel that way. It is an incredible thing to imagine being able to do. And could you tell me a little bit about the career path that brought you to Vertical?
Yeah, I mean, if we go back to being 6 or 7, I guess from then I was really lucky. I always knew that I wanted to be an engineer. I had a really supportive family. My brother, who's a mechanical design engineer, was on a really similar path, and our parents were accountants. So everyone was like, yay, engineering, and it was really quite easy. But then after university, I started my career out in defence, building my foundation skills, I guess, really securing that knowledge base of engineering and working on lots of delivery projects and all sorts of domains, from sort of geospatial intelligence to cyber. And I found my way back to aviation maybe 4 or 5 years ago, working with unmanned surveillance aircraft, both rotary wing and fixed wing, fast jets, and then defence helicopters. I really love defence. It's got such a sense of purpose about it. But I was always really, really excited about the prospect of working on new technology. So one of my closest friends, Sinead, told me about Vertical, and she thought I would be super interested because they were doing, they're doing the full package. They're not just doing a part of the tail or the fuselage or a nut and bolt. It's a whole new aircraft. And of course, I thought that was incredible and amazing, and put in an application that day, and here we are.
Wow, fantastic. And what is your role? What are the sorts of things that you're working on day to day?
So my role at Vertical is as an aircraft systems engineer. I guess that kind of makes me like an engineering generalist with a systems engineering specialty.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun role. I mean, I work a lot with our requirements and their processes at the moment, which is amazing because I get to speak to all of the experts on their specific parts of the aircraft. So I gain an awful lot of knowledge every day from them. It feels like I'm constantly learning, which I absolutely love. And I try and look at it from a high level point of view, as in the whole aircraft, about how we're going to integrate all the individual parts, what the verification process looks like in order to sign off our requirements, through all the testing, that whole systems engineering life cycle of building an aircraft. It's brilliant.
Yes, yeah, it sounds incredibly exciting and unique, because it's so long since a whole aircraft has been developed here in
Yeah.
the UK. So it must be a real joy to be involved with that. And I feel so inspired by how you have literally followed your dreams into this role. We know that traditionally there have been a lot more men than women studying engineering and becoming aerospace engineers. I wondered, how do you feel as a woman in this sector?
I mean, I love it.
Mm-hmm,
I've been really lucky. I've always landed in really great teams full of brilliant people. So I can't really say I've ever really had an issue.
mm-hmm,
Obviously, it would be wonderful and really good to see more women around.
mm-hmm,
That goes without saying, and you definitely do stand out more because there are fewer of you. But I've
mm-hmm,
found that can really bring some very empowering and beneficial aspects to any role, I guess.
mm-hmm.
Prior to Vertical and Defence, I spent many, many hours in meetings as the only female, but I've never been made to feel anything other than welcome and valued around that table. At the end of the day, we are engineers. We care much more about building things than kind of anything else. So it just
Yeah,
feels totally normal.
yeah, brilliant. And what's it like at Vertical?
It's a lot more diverse than I was expecting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
I mean, obviously coming from defence, when you're very limited by things like security clearances and nationalities, so it is much harder to have that element of it.
mm-hmm,
And Vertical's not just diverse in terms of male and female, though they do a very good job of that as well. But in
mm-hmm,
terms of like background and educations, and people have extremely broad experiences, which promote such great discussion within the teams. People have come from all over the world to work at Vertical, and you can really see it influence the innovation, the processes, and at the end of the day, our product.
mm-hmm,
I'd say as well that they're very good at being vocal around improvements.
mm-hmm,
The people here like challenge things, and Vertical have created this culture where that is very positive and completely normalized, and
mm-hmm.
it's really amazing.
Brilliant, brilliant. It sounds like a great culture to be part of. And I know that within the aerospace sector, learning is really celebrated. And it sounds as though this is a really special example of that. And I wondered, how do you think we could encourage more women to join this sector for the future?
I mean, yeah, this has been the question for, I mean, it's been around for as long as I've been working, really. And I
Mhm.
guess I think things like this really help.
Yeah.
Doing fun podcasts, highlighting the women that are in there, seeing yourself represented.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really lucky. I decided to be an engineer at such a young age. It didn't matter.
Hmm.
I didn't ever consider being a woman and doing that. And even
Hmm.
to be fair to everybody around me, no one ever raised it. No one ever said, "Oh, I think you might." No, it was just never an issue. And there is a big element of me, an element of me that thinks that that's how we need to see it, to stop
Hmm.
sort of stereotyping and start normalizing it and promoting it in a really healthy and positive way. Like try
Yeah.
and stop it being like a big deal. But I'm not entirely sure if that would actively encourage more women into the sector, which
Hmm.
really ideally is what we're trying to do.
Yes. Yeah.
And it might be obvious, but I've done lots of STEM outreach in
Yeah.
schools and lots of career fairs. And I think
Hmm.
sending people like me to things like that can work and helps too. But at the end of the day, what they're seeing
Hmm.
is an engineer who's super enthusiastic about their job. To me, it's a really easy sell because it's the best job in the world. So maybe that's what people want to see, regardless of gender.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is getting better. We're beginning to see
Hmm.
more women as engineers,
Yeah.
and also more in the leadership teams of big engineering companies, which is
Hmm.
super important to people like me.
Yeah.
Reaction Engines appointed Philippa Davies as their engineering director earlier this year. She started
Wow.
like 9 years ago as a performance engineer and has just
Hmm.
skyrocketed. I worked for Lockheed Martin when Marilyn Houston was the CEO. Of the 150,000 people that worked there, all the programs, F-35, everything, cool. Slack and Google now have female engineering directors, and Gwynne Shotwell, who's really, really interesting if you've never heard an interview from her, is the CEO of SpaceX and came from an engineering background as well. So that we have to celebrate all of that as well. I think that helps. Let's celebrate all the amazing women out there.
I agree, definitely. I agree with that sentiment, celebrating the incredible women that are here to encourage more for the future is a real mission that's close to my heart. Do you think you need to be a certain type of woman in order to be successful in male-dominated spaces?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think labeling people as types, especially in like a gender-specific way, can be super damaging sometimes. But I mean, that is a different conversation. But no, you can be absolutely anyone or anything you want in this world, and the more diverse and different, the better. We need representation from everywhere in order to really succeed as a team.
Yeah, I understand. So certainly not a certain type of woman or even a certain type of man. Actually, just being your authentic self and your best self.
Yeah, I think that's respected here. Trying not to mold into anyone's box, trying to be true to you. And I think, people warm to that here and they see what you really are. If you're a half decent person and you believe in yourself and you work hard, everyone will want to work with you.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I guess you've answered this already, but are you glad that you chose this career?
1,000%. I love it. I am one of those people that really looks forward to going to work. I find it really rewarding seeing how things progress. I get a real sense of accomplishment every day from what I do. That's a real lucky and privileged thing to have. And also in terms of like a sensible choice, that seems to have worked out well too. We're in demand as engineers. So it's a pretty secure and safe place to be. And financially, it's been good to me too. My dog gets all the toys that she wants. I can buy them for her if I need to. So yeah, I mean, I can see myself 40 years down the line, like probably more at this rate, let's be honest, but with a big smile on my face, retiring, having been an engineer in aviation for most of my life.
Yeah. That's really incredible. It's such a joy to hear from you, Kirsty. What would you say to other women or indeed anybody who's thinking about a career in this sector?
Yeah, I mean, aviation represents such a broad range of engineering and technology in general. There are so many avenues and paths to go down. Like, it's no longer just like aerodynamics and things like that. The way we're digitizing everything, you can be a software engineer, you can be a hardware, like there's so many things to genuinely get involved in and try them out, figure out what you love the most and build a career at the same time. So yeah, I would say this to everyone, not just women. I would encourage anyone to work in engineering. Like, jump in, get involved, get excited. Like, I really, really don't think you will regret it.
Oh, that's incredible. Kirsty, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so literally delighted to hear how much you're enjoying your career, and I wish you all the very best for the many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been so lovely to be here.